I've been thinking a lot lately about the life I thought I'd have, and I don't think I'm the only guy that hits this point, especially when we hit our 40s. Because on paper, things can look fine, but not every day does everything feel right. I spent over a decade guiding thousands of people on my boat, and I got pretty good at reading people. And I remember the guys showing up, they're successful, good jobs, good family, but you could tell something wasn't right with them. Maybe just the way they act, the way they talk, the way they look around, I guess. I think a lot of men get to the point where life looks like it should feel good. It's not falling apart. It just doesn't feel right. Maybe it just doesn't feel like where you're supposed to be at the age you're at, or where you're supposed to be in life, job wise, relationship wise, whatever. And it's not always obvious. Life looks like it should feel good, but it doesn't. It's not terrible. It's more like you wake up, do what you're supposed to do, go through the motions, handle your responsibilities, but then there's a constant feeling like you're just going through it, like you built something, but you're not sure it actually fits anymore. And here's the part I think most guys don't talk about. We have to be there for our family, for our spouses, for our kids, for our relatives, whatever it is. And it's hard to let it out sometimes that things just don't feel like they're where they're supposed to be, or you're going the direction you thought you'd be going. So we get to convincing ourselves it's fine. Day in and day out, we say it's fine. We tell everybody around us it's fine. We tell our friends, our buddies. The weird thing about that is a lot of times if we just talked about it with our buddies, they might have the same feeling, the same things going on. But as men, we're taught not to talk about stuff that bothers us, not to be a burden. We're supposed to be tough and masculine and show up every day like we're meant to be there. And I mean, we all should do that, especially for our families, but doesn't mean that something on the inside isn't wrong and something isn't going good or the way you wanted it to go. And getting it out there and talking about it's probably the only real way to fix it. If we just keep it buried inside and never share our ideas, never share our thoughts with people, then what's going to happen? It's just going to go day in, day out. Next thing you know, you're 47 and you just didn't end up where you thought you'd be. Doesn't mean it's bad. Uh, Personally, I'm probably better off than I thought I'd be in most ways. I thought I'd be. I never had a plan to really even get married, or just there was anything that I thought about. I like to hunt and fish and have a good time, and why those things are fun. They're probably not a really a great life, a mission in life, but um, I mean they're great for part-time activities, great for those type of things. Obviously, hunting and fishing can be really good for the soul, but as far as a life plan, that was the one to have. Of course, I built mine into a career of guiding, which has its ups and downs, like everything in life, every job, every career. But um, once you turn it into a business, then the fun part of it kind of goes away. You end up not be able to do all the fun things after work that you used to be able to do because you're still working and preparing for the next day and all that kind of stuff. I don't know. It's life's funny, and I just think that it's important to talk about that. A lot of men out there, we all are maybe in a similar situation, and we don't really have a way to share it with other guys that are in that situation. And I've just been thinking a lot about it lately and what to do about it. I don't think there's any reason to blow anything up. I love my family. I love my wife. I love my kids more than anything in the world, and I wouldn't change that. In fact, I'll change my career to make them happy before I change anything that would make them unhappy. And maybe that's just my place. Maybe that's what works for me. But then everybody's got their own situation, so we just have to figure it out on our own what's right. But I know it all starts with sharing it with somebody and having an outlet for it. And these things just sneak up. That doesn't happen all at once. It takes years, maybe decades, in fact, before you start really feeling it. And then, but once it starts to catch up, it can really be stressful, I guess. And you got to figure out what is wrong. What is it? Stress? Is it burnout? Is it just a constant weight that you can't explain, from pressure of day-to-day life, day-to-day family, day-to-day whatever. I don't think the answer is blowing anything up or making huge decisions overnight. I think the first step is just being honest with yourself, talking to your peers, your buddies, your friends, your pastor, whatever, whoever that is, and just start to get it out there. Might take a long time to really even uncover what it is, but once you start getting it out there and bring it to the surface, then you can start to work on it. You can start to fix it, figure it out. And again, it doesn't happen overnight. Something's off. Hopefully, if you have a spouse, you can talk to them. And we mustn't forget children. If you've got kids old enough to have conversations with, they have more insight often in this world than we ever can dream of. They just break everything down to be so simple. And I wouldn't overlook that. And I don't know. That's kind of where I'm at right now myself. I've led a pretty good life. Got to do a lot of pretty cool shit most people only dream of. And I feel like I became a father a little older than a lot of people, and still have fairly young kids at home at 47. And I feel like my transition is away from my career, my life that I thought I'd always have, just floating around in a boat somewhere, catching as many fish as I could. And here I am, putting my kids and my wife before myself, which is, that's for sure. So that's growth. And this didn't happen easy. These decisions I'm making, they honestly took me many years. It's things I've been thinking about for years. I mean, you get into a job, a career, you work really hard at it, and you get older and you think, well, gosh dang, what could I do now? I mean, I'm probably unemployable since I worked for myself. I don't know what I would do otherwise. So it's hard to figure it all out. You just got to take a close look. And I certainly don't have it figured out. I'm certainly not trying to tell anybody I have anything figured out. I'm just sitting here talking to you, telling you what's on my mind and what I think about and what I've learned. And I've learned that ignoring doesn't fix anything. That's been a hard one, 47 years to learn that. And I've also learned that being honest with yourself is the most important thing, and then honest with your spouse, um, because it's just one of those things that nothing can get better if you're not honest with yourself. Nothing can get better if you're not honest with your partner, your spouse. Nothing can ever change if you just keep lying to yourself. So I guess if you're the guy trying to figure it out and you're feeling like you're kind of lost and you're kind of in a transition spot, or you're trying to figure out if you're in a transition spot, I just want you to know you're not alone. There's probably millions of us out there like that. So just be honest with yourself, be honest with your spouse or whoever the closest people are, and just start digging deep and figuring out a little bit at a time, I guess I might say. It's not going to happen quick. Like I said, it's taken me years to kind of come to these conclusions that I'm coming to now, to trade a career for my family, to trade these things that make me happy daily for their happiness. And then in doing that, I found out that I'm pretty damn happy just making them happy. So that's something that I couldn't have done years ago. I was way too selfish. So just think about it, be honest with yourself, and just know there's a bunch of us out there just like you, and together we can make ourselves better.